all there is. The universe, that which is happening all around you, is a manifestation of the universal mind. This infinite mind reflects through patterns, each one revealing to you who you truly are. It is no coincidence that the first letter of the universe is U. It naturally invites you to recognize the you within this vast existence. The soul is being unpacked from an observational perspective, a singularity that can be likened to the I am. Like in that deeper statement, I am that I am, it is that second I am being unpacked. Do you see it? To perceive itself, the singularity creates separation. From one it becomes two. This separation forms the dualistic manifestation of a black and white whole. And in this primal split lies the nature of the source. From these wholes, the entity of the source projects itself outside of what we call time, and thus the paradox emerges. Three entities, yet one. The source creates the black and white holes, and yet is born through them, making it their child and parent, and them parents and children at the same time. This separation allows the I to explore the manifold variables of space by attaching itself to the am. It begins its journey through the density of a finite universe, seeking itself in every corner, in every form. The source, through what can be visualized as a prism, shoots out its own light, dividing into 7 founding entities. You see, all of nature operates through a law of balanced interchange. These 7 rays of source light consciousness are the foundational structures of all that is. In essence, the governing force is light, and from light comes the duality of gravitation and radiation. Gravitation is the inward force pulling towards integration and form, manifesting itself through electricity. Radiation, on the other hand, is the expansive force that drives disintegration and dissolution, manifesting through magnetism. This cyclical interplay between gravitation and radiation, between generation and degeneration, creates an ever-present dance of energy, a dance that births and dissolves matter. Matter, in this sense, is not a static entity, but a living record of energy oscillations. As these oscillations slow down, the energy begins to disintegrate, drawing itself back towards the source. In this returning lies the fundamental principle of death. Yeah, death. Yet, death is not an end, but a reabsorption into a black hole where the energy is renewed and reborn into a new form, and shot back out through that white hole. This is the process of alchemy, known to ancient sages. The universe, following this pattern of integration and disintegration, allows for the transformation of energy into matter and back again. Every thought, every focused intention becomes part of this process. The pendulum of creation swings between the forces of gravity and radiation, always in motion, always in transformation. Energy is constantly oscillating between integration and disintegration, creating periodic waveforms that manifests as matter in the physical world. This oscillation is what drives the creation of all things, from the smallest particle to the vastness of galaxies. At the highest frequencies, the universe is a light field, where form is less dense and more ethereal. At lower frequencies, matter becomes more solid and dense, giving rise to the physical world we perceive. But make no mistake, This world of form is just a slow, vibrating wave, a crystallization of light that follows the universal law of energy and motion. Through the oscillation of these forces, the universe continuously expands and contracts. As gravitation contracts energy into form, radiation pulls it apart, releasing it back to the source. This is the cosmic cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth, where every entity, whether human, planet, or star, follows the same universal law, even down to the interplay of male and female principles. You heard me right, sex. These two polar forces, electricity and magnetism, are the drivers of all that matter and form. The universe, in its essence, is a constant balancing act of these forces, where creation and dissolution are continuously at play. By aligning to the rhythm of Source, one gains access to infinite knowledge and power. Exactly that same power as is known to the highest being. Misconceptions about the nature of life and death obscure this truth, but the more we align with the universal mind, the more we can transcend these limitations. Love is in itself a state of being that become law of balanced interchange. It acts as a foundation of every process in the all there is. It is the reason why matter forms and dissolves, why energy oscillates between integration and disintegration, and it is why we as conscious beings can influence the material world through focused thought. When we focus on a thought, we set in motion an energetic exchange. If we align ourselves with this thought and trust it completely, it manifests in some form. If we repel it, it is reabsorbed and returns to the source as potential energy. This is the alchemy of creation, the process through which all things come into being down to the very atom. In this framework, death is not just some meaningless end, but a transition, a reabsorption of energy into the source. As such, the human narrative of death as a finality is obliterated. There is no true death, only transformation. We are light, temporarily inhabiting these forms, and our essence, our consciousness cannot die. Our memories, past lives, personalities, and lessons learned are stored in DNA receptors, which stores energetic imprints. In fact, 90% of our DNA is unused according to scientists. This is completely untrue, actually. It is where all this information is stored and can be accessed either in physical existence or after death of the body. Only 3% of the human DNA strands consist the actual human genome, which is what creates the physical human vessel, so fear not death. The light being awareness moves through what humans think of as space by oscillation of energetic wavelengths that travel forward in what we think of as time, in a cyclical spiraling motion, first down into density and then reabsorbed to be placed on a higher or lower octave, or to be moved further beyond what we call the universe according to the individual light being's awareness of itself. The universe is an entity. It's not constrained by time or space as we perceive it. All forms and appearances are mere illusions, masking the true identity, masking the true reality of the dimensionless, all-pervading mind. When you strip away all the illusions of duality, when you silence the mind, what remains? That is your original face, your true nature, the source within you, always present, always whole, never missing. So ask yourself, when you were born, who was really born? You or your desires? You are the projections of the material world. The universe is not out there, separate from you. You are the universe, and the universe is you.